Everybody loves the flashy kill streaks in Call of Duty, the devastating kill streaks. And I understand that. That's what we're all gravitated towards when we're trying to earn those streaks. But what about the streaks that aren't so flashy? What about the streaks that are super underrated yet still really good? Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos, and that's exactly what we're going to focus on today. We're going to be looking at the 10 super underrated kill streaks in Call of Duty. Of course, you let me know in the comments section which ones you think should be on here, if you agree with my list, if you don't agree with my list. And do me a favor, if you guys are enjoying the new Facecam COD history videos, let me know in the comments. Drop a like, make sure you're subscribed. We're seeing a little bit of a resurgence when it comes to the channel, and it's kind of motivating. It's kind of exciting, so I appreciate each and every one of you. And then we're going to kick things off at Advanced Warfare. Aerial Recon Drone, to be exact. This was the cheapest streak in Advanced Warfare. It wasn't very popular at all, but it had a soft spot. It did. I had a soft spot for it because it was easy to earn and spam, and if you were a team player, which I was, you probably got a lot of mileage out of it. The Aerial Recon Drone would only cost you 350 points by default. Then you could manually control this little drone, throw it around the map, tag enemy players for your enemies or your teammates to clean up. It was like the Recon Drone from Modern Warfare 3, but cheaper. And it had better mobility. There's also some extremely helpful mods you could use to add to the Aerial Recon Drone. Who remembers Score Streak mods? I kind of want them back, to be honest with you. You had the cloaking you could add for 50 points, flashbangs. You could put flashbangs on your Aerial Recon Drone. You could even put EMP grenades on it for an additional 100 points and more. So for such a cheap streak, it was extremely helpful in objective modes. And if you were someone who was more concerned about your win-loss than your KD, you probably loved it. But as you probably know, manually controlled streaks without any killing power were never so popular. So there it is. At number 9, the Escort airdrop in Modern Warfare 3 2011. We're going way back. Now, it was a buff version of the emergency airdrop from Modern Warfare 2. I loved it. Even if it was a little hard to justify running, I want you guys to go to YouTube really quick and search up Modern Warfare 2 emergency airdrop glitches or hacks where somebody like brought in like 100 emergency airdrop planes. It just covers the sky. It was absolutely fantastic. But 18 points, meaning you had to choose between this instead of the EMP, which most people didn't want to do. Once you earned it, you could throw down a marker. Wait a few seconds for a giant Osprey gunner to fly into the map, hover over the marker, start just pooping out care package after care package after care package. Also, while shooting enemy players who got too close to them like an angry bird guarding its nest. It was awesome. There was downsides. There was. The care packages were typically non-lethal, although lethal ones could pop up from time to time, but the drop rate wasn't good, and it was also pretty common for the Escort airdrop to drop scare packages to try and dupe enemy players, which was ultimately a good thing for your team, but it was also one less streak that your team got to call in. At the end of the day, an 18-point support streak that did this much damage to the enemy team and rained care packages down on you for 15 to 20 seconds, it seemed like it was a pretty valuable thing to have. I thought it was pretty underrated to this day, to be honest with you. Let me know if you agree or disagree. At number 8, the Remote Sentry in Modern Warfare 3 and Advanced Warfare. Relatively cheap streak, I know. In both of Sledgehammer's Xbox 360 era Call of Duty multiplayers, I felt it was underrated. I could also see why most players didn't. The Remote Sentry was exactly what it sounded like, a sentry gun that had to be remotely controlled, meaning there was no AI involved like other sentry guns in COD history, which I get it. That's frustrating for players who just like to set it and forget it. You want to be in the action, not behind that. But that's not to say the Remote Sentry was totally useless, because there was actually some pretty hefty advantages to using it in both Modern Warfare 3 and Advanced Warfare, and I'm going to argue those right now. In Modern Warfare 3, the Remote Sentry had pretty amazing turn speeds. It could actually turn a full 360 degrees, which the normal sentry gun could not do. So if you threw it down on a dom flag, you could literally fend off an entire enemy by yourself from a safe distance. In Advanced Warfare, it had some very helpful mods, like the one that gave it a rocket launcher, another one that gave it AI, basically turned it into a normal sentry gun, but smaller and harder for enemies to see. I totally see why people didn't like the Remote Sentry. I admit, I'm pretty sure I've talked some crap about it on past videos, but I will say it's underrated to some degree. At number 7, the Assault Drone in Modern Warfare 3 2011. Now, attack drones are pretty common in Call of Duty games, my favorite being the Cerberus from Black Ops 3, the Wally drone. But the first version of this concept was the Assault Drone from the original Modern Warfare 3, and it really, honestly, wasn't that popular. For starters, it was part of the Assault Strike package, which was already competing with the Specialists in the support packages, and on top of that, this version of the Assault Drone didn't have any AI, so you had to manually control it. Didn't have a lot of health. But, you know what? I loved it. The killing power on the assault drone was actually kind of insane. If you witnessed it, you know what I'm talking about. Even though it could be blown up relatively easy, you could still get a ton of work done with that before it happens. Since it only costs you 10 points to earn 9 with Hardline, you could do it over and over and over again if you were half decent at the game. The assault drone came with a mounted LMG, people, a mounted grenade launcher, both of which had insane killing power, and the movement speed was pretty quick, so you could zip around the map, kill 5 to 6 enemy players before they even realized you were on the field. I thought it was underrated. Now, I know, later versions of the assault drone, like the Cerberus, which I just mentioned, and the Modern Warfare Night 2019 Wheelson were a lot better, but this one had potential. And since we're on the topic, we segue. Number 6, the AGR in Black Ops 2. The autonomous ground robot, basically a buffed version of the Modern Warfare 3 assault drone, but it still had some fatal flaws that kept it from being a popular choice back in the Black Ops 2 days. I like to play devil's advocate here. The killing power was solid, more health, but the manual handling was a bit clunkier. It didn't move nearly as quick as the Modern Warfare 3 version. Honestly, it moved like it was in oatmeal. It really, really did. Treyarch gave the AGR some good AI, so you could technically call it in, let it roam around the battlefield on its own, but the AI was also kind of dumb sometimes, so it wouldn't do a lot to help. But if you dropped that baby on Nuketown, it was game over. You basically had to manually control it in order to get your money's worth. And the handling was definitely tough to get used to, but once you got the hang of the AGR, it was pretty nutty. The killing power was insane. The health buff made it durable enough to roll into enemy spawns and mow everybody down before they could ever counter you. Now, it had some stiff competition in the score streak menu. That's why a lot of people didn't run it, because of those downsides. But that doesn't mean it wasn't underrated. It wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but it was fun to use. Now we arrive at the top 5, my friends. I'm going to start off with the support, squad mate, and ghost. I've talked a lot about these streaks, and it hasn't been positive over the years. But I've come full circle in my 15 years, and I'm looking back. I kind of loved him. This streak was part of the support strike package. It would cost 11 points, and upon hitting that activate button, the game would spawn a dude with a riot shield who would follow you around as your best friend and try to die between you and the enemy gunfire. That's right. He took a bullet for you, many of them. Their AI was not very smart, and their movement speed wasn't very quick. But there was something appealing and goofy about having an AI-controlled riot shield guy following you around trying to keep you safe as your best friend. And sometimes, the riot shield guy would surprise you. Sometimes he would save you from an enemy grenade or a sniper shot. Or sometimes the AI would suddenly go into God mode and start capping people with their pistol out of nowhere. Plus, if one of your teammates called in the ammo crate streak, the support squad mate would actually use it to swap their riot shield for a minigun or a grenade launcher. A lot of people didn't even know that. Super rare for the AI to do, but it happened. And when it did happen, it was hilarious. I mean, was the support squad mate a good streak? No. Was it goofy and weirdly wholesome and I felt like giving it some love? So, I did. At number 4, the shield turret in Modern Warfare 2019. I know this is probably my hottest take of the video, but I actually think this thing was pretty fun. Especially with how cheap it was. A lot of people wrote off the shield turret as soon as Modern Warfare came out because it was awkward. It was hard to place down. It fired slowly. But if you were smart about it, smart where you put it and how you used it, you could actually get some pretty insane clips with it. And at the end of the day, 3 kills. 3 kills, people. Only 3. 2 with Hardline. You could spam them all day if you wanted to. The shield turret wasn't amazing, and it left parts of your body pretty vulnerable. But if you were going to put yourself in a smart spot, you could easily hold down objectives with some intense firepower and scare off enemy players, or you could at least distract them while their teammates flanked around to the other side of the map. I do agree that the Warzone version of the turret was useless, but the multiplayer version, it had some sauce to it if you're willing to play to its strengths. Again, 3 kills, 2 with Hardline, guys. You can't get mad at a streak that's that cheap. At number 3, Juggernaut Recon in Modern Warfare 3 2011. The Juggernaut armor, fan favorite part of the Modern Warfare subseries, and there have been a ton of different iterations of it, but one version that never gets talked about is the Jug Recon from the OG Modern Warfare 3. Pretty expensive streak. I think it cost you 18 points, but it was also part of the support strike package, so you didn't have to go on an 18 kill streak to get it. I mean, once you acquired it, you could throw down a care package marker, which you would have to defend for a couple seconds while the armor pack dropped out of the air, but once you put the suit on, you turned into the Hulk. You really did, or Hulk Buster. You were given hulking armor, roughly 1,700 health points, that actually regenerated, which made you almost impossible to kill, unless the enemy team coordinated together. You would also have a portable radar strapped to your back, meaning you were a walking UAV for your teammates, and they gave you a riot shield and a USP-45 handgun. I know that's not a lot of killing power, but It's plenty when you have this armor. You were almost impossible to kill unless someone on the other team dropped a Predator missile directly on your head. Now, due to the lack of killing power, the Juggernaut Recon wasn't super popular. But I always thought it was super underrated. If you had somebody on your team running it, you would be at a huge advantage sometime in that match, since the enemy team would constantly be distracted and getting pinged on the mini-map. I liked it a lot. At number 2, the SAM turret. It's still part of the Call of Duty, right? It's always been a bit overshadowed by more destructive streaks, right? I've always had a soft spot for the SAM turret, and in certain games, it's actually pretty good. The SAM first appeared in the original Black Ops. Then it returned in OG Modern Warfare 3 before disappearing for roughly a decade, and now it's part of the formula again. But it's a turret that will automatically target and fire at any aerial streak the enemy team calls in, which that can be helpful for your team, especially since the targeting and the firing happens very quickly. In the older COD games, the SAM turret would shoot down UAVs, shoot down helicopters, almost immediately upon them entering the battlefield. They didn't even stand a chance. And the streak itself, never that hard to get. Usually only costs 4 kills to earn. If used effectively, the SAM turret can honestly completely replace a launcher in your class. Allows you to take different secondary weapons, lets your AI-controlled turret do all the streak shooting. I mean, it tends to be one of the less popular streaks because a lot of COD players don't want to use one of their 3 streak slots on something non-lethal, but a set it and forget it streak that automatically shoots down enemy UAVs and helicopters has always been super appealing to me. Maybe I'm in the minority. I liked it. I'm honestly pretty glad that it came back in recent COD games after such a long hiatus. And at number 1 today, I have to go with the EMP, specifically the EMP in the older COD games like Classic Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2. Had the potential to be one of the most devastating things on the entire battlefield, and it can easily turn the tide of a match. But the grand scheme of things, it was one of the least popular high-tier streaks in Call of Duty because of how difficult it was to earn and how few points you get in return for using it. Classic Modern Warfare 2, the EMP would cost you 15 kills. And in Black Ops 2, you'd have to get a ridiculous 1,300 score to get it, but in return, you would completely disable enemy streaks, equipment, HUDs, all of it for roughly a minute, which that could be what turns in the entire match to your favor. Turns the match around since it gives your team the opportunity to get the drop on enemy players as they scramble around to stay in one piece without any help from the minimap. The EMP is an amazing streak, but I always thought it was underrated because despite how powerful it was, a lot of people chose not to run it because of how hard it was to earn. But when you put 15 kills into earning a streak, you want it to be devastating. You want to rain hellfire down from the skies. I mean, the EMP was the complete opposite. Didn't really give you many points in return, but it was a strategic choice. Didn't kill enemy players. It was strategic. That's all I can say about it. And I'm going to say it's the number 1 underrated kill streak in COD history. Let me know when I got it right. Let me know where we got it wrong. Let me know one that we left off, and I'll see you guys soon.